Today I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a bit of a challenge kind of a video. I've set my timer to 1 hour and I thought we could combine the 1 hour, the color, and the random character design all in one. So let's grab some colors first. And okay, so we've got like a moody plum kind of palette. Let me screenshot that. And let's see. So for this, I just have like an aesthetic and a race, and I just hit simultaneous, and then it'll pick two from lists that I've created. And we've got a rose alien. I actually just did an alien, so we'll see. We'll see. Let me pick a backup just in case. Okay, we just did a magical girl. So we'll do the rose alien. This one is magical girl sorcerer. I don't know if you can see, but we just did a magical girl. So I'm gonna go with the alien, even though I already did for Patreon. I did an alien magical girl. We're gonna do alien again. We've got alien, rose alien. Let's see. Let me just write it down so I don't forget. Rose alien. So those are our colors. I'm just gonna get rid of the screenshot because we don't need it. Oops, I almost dropped my pen. Just put that up there, and we can kind of start figuring out what we want to do with this character design. So let's hit start on this, and I just have that up there so I can see it. I'm probably just going to start sketching what we could do with this. So I have like a set kind of an alien that I like to follow, just because I think they're cute. They're my favorite way to draw aliens. And they've got little spots and like little antennae. And then we've got rose, which I don't draw roses very often. That's supposed to be a rose. Okay. The first thing that I want to do is kind of have the rose come off of her and be like the back of her head would be like the rose. And another thing with roses is they are thorny, so we could put thorns on her. She could be like this greeny color from our colors that we have, like the stem of the rose, and then she's got flourishes that are like this pretty purple, which would be like any petals of the rose, kind of like that. I still want to give her like little ears. I guess those are big ears, not little ears, but you know, pointed ears. And maybe she has like roses kind of flowering from her skin. That could be really fun, actually. And again, we have to keep like the thorns. She's prickly. I mean, I think there are thornless roses. I think that's a thing, but she's not one of those. She's a regular thorned rose. And maybe we do give her some antenna still, even though she's kind of a different kind of alien a little bit. Maybe they come forward though, a little bit like how I might think of like a butterfly. Or we could just give her little swirly ones like a butterfly. That would be cute. Okay, I think that's what I want to do. I do only have an hour, so I do still want to do or be able to work on like the real image a little bit more. So I'm just gonna merge all that down and squish it over here and just kind of start on our little sketch. Well, let's turn the canvas so I have a little more room. Okay, here's my rough sketch. It's pretty rough. We've got a good amount of time left, so I'm gonna go over it again and clarify it a little bit. Alright, so there's my second sketch to kind of clarify things a little bit. And I'm going to probably merge these two together and do the line art now. And I'm going to use the shell brush. It's just my favorite one. And we've got about 39 minutes left to get this flower in here. Get that fun rosy spiral. And then yeah, I think we are gonna have like little bits of like petals and stuff coming like off of her. And then she's also got like a rosy dress. And then this arm is going to be more free of petals, I think. And I was going to have kind of a plant magic thing going on. And of course, the rose on her head. Having the petals like curl over, I feel like helps with that rose look. It's kind of what I'm finding. And I'm going to write up here because I'm going to do it probably last. But I want to remember the thorn. And I hope that it still has my timer. It turned off on me. Come on. Okay, my timer is gone, but here's my solution. I've not stopped this recording. I'm gonna see how long it is. Okay, so it looks like about 5 minutes in, I started drawing. So if this whole thing is 36 minutes, I've been drawing for about 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna set a timer for 30 minutes, except for I'm gonna do it differently because this one just turned off on me. I think it's because I have my screen set to turn off in 30 minutes if I don't use it. And for some reason it decided that that wasn't being used. But I have used this before and this doesn't do that on me. So I'm gonna set it, oh, wrong way, for 30. And oh, there we go. And we're gonna do it this way. Alrighty, so I think I've finished with the line art. Let me group all that together. And then for the under sketch, I'm going to actually flatten it. Actually, it's already flattened. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to put it on I think a hard light layer. Sounds good. On like a purple. And so I don't know, I just think that having the sketch in there sometimes adds a little extra oomph to the drawing, especially when it's a quicker drawing. And then I'm gonna sketch or put the colors in underneath it. And I'm gonna throw in the silhouette, I think. Even though we're on limited time, I think that I'm gonna do it that way because I think it ends up being faster in the long run, even though it feels like I'm taking up extra time. So I'm just gonna go in and block in the silhouette. Get all these little tiny leaves all colored, because if we do it now, it'll be easier to fill them in with color later. I'm gonna add some extra little lines in here too, I think. And the butterflies. This butterfly, I think I'm actually going to move. There we go, just up a little bit. Okay, so we've got the silhouette all blocked in, so we can now clip to it and fill in with our colors. And I'm just going to use the hard brush, I think, to fill in our colors. But I do know that I want her skin to be this like grayish green color. So I'm going to head in with that first and let it fade into the leaves a little bit. Or leaves, petals. They're not leaves, they're petals. Then I do want to go back into my silhouette and clean this little spot up I missed. It doesn't need to be perfect, but if it's just a little cleaner, that's always good. And then the roses I was going to have be kind of gradient with these 3 purples that we have. I'm going to start with the lightest purple, I think, and have the green fade into that lightest purple. It almost looks pink here. Maybe start up here with the light purple as well. Oh, I forgot her ear. Let's go back in and get her ear really fast. Alright, back into this purpley pink and just kind of graduate it into this purple. Though I think I am going to go on a layer above the pink instead of behind it. Maybe add a little bit more pink into this one. And the darkest purple for the middle and edges. And then I can go back in. I'm going to actually just merge that into the pink layer from before. Go in with like my soft line art brush because it's just a little bit softer and kind of clean up some of this, help the colors kind of blend in a little bit better together. Grab some of that dark purple. I'm actually going to blur it a little and try that again because I think I messed it up just a touch. Grab some of that dark purple, get in those creases with it. Go back to the medium. I think I'm going to use that light one just mostly for little highlights, actually. So I'm going to go in with it now, maybe like on this edge here where there's petal is kind of coming up. And then, yeah, it's the little highlight. Okay, I like that a lot better. Yeah, so now I'm going to do that with the other petals a little bit. Do that light edge. I need to make my brush a little smaller and get that mid-tone in there a little bit more. It's so windy outside right now. Get some down here. Alright, and I think that's mostly for the petals and everything. So let me add a little bit more onto her skin. Well, actually, let me do her eyes really fast. Because I think I wanted them to be this light color. And then where we will kind of have a little bit off our color palette is probably like for the whites of our eyes. And the center, I'm going to make this purple. And then while we're here, I am going to go above everything and give her her little highlight. Okie dokie, so yeah, let's go back in on her skin. And I'm just going to lock it and sit on that layer and add in a little bit more color and everything. So I might give her a little bit of blush on her ears and on her fingers with this color right here. Maybe on the shoulder, elbow. And then go in with this lighter color. Just kind of hit some of the high points. So like on her chin, on her nose. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back in and blend this out a little bit more. So I'm just going to throw it in here in places where I feel like I want to put a little highlight. And then go in with my blending brush. Just blend them out a little bit. And I don't love the ones that I did on the face, so I'm going to erase them. And just go in, I think, and blur that out instead of what we did, but the rest of it I think I'm going to keep. And then for her spots, and I think for her lips, I am going to do one of these darker purples, I think the mid purple, and just kind of fill them in, because I think the spots are like turning into petals almost, is kind of how I was picturing it. Add some more spots just around, and then across everything. Just kidding, I lied. I forgot that we have butterflies and plants, which I am also kind of going to go off script a little bit. I'm going to select this greenish gray and saturate it a little and use that for our plants. And I did miss a spot. I'm going to grab it really fast right here. Just maybe add a little bit more. And the butterflies, I'm just doing the same as the plant layer, and they're going to be, I think, purple, maybe a little lighter purple, maybe even lighter than that, or maybe even yellow, kind of like her eyes, kind of like that maybe. Speaking of her eyes, I do want to go back into there and add a little bit of a shadow. And on her antennae, just a little bit so that they stand out a little bit more. And I'm going to duplicate that just so I have a backup and just hide the other one. And take this and flatten it and then clip to it and add in a little bit because we've got 5 minutes for a little bit of shading. So I'm going to go in with the shell brush. I'm gonna go into the shell brush on this purple and just multiply layer and maybe add just a little bit of a shadow to things. Just imagining the sun's like coming from the top. And we gotta go fast. And I might change this shadow color because I'm not loving it. And I do want to add those thorns. I can't believe I almost forgot about them. So we're going to be kind of quick. Kind of hit them on the points where I feel like they're going to be most noticeable. I gotta get a little bit of a lighter thorn here so that you can see it against the purple, which might just look fuzzy. It's supposed to be thorns, but you know, I think the idea will come across enough. All right, we're almost out of time. It turned off again on me, but I had 5 minutes left. So it was about an hour, so that's good. This is what we have, and it is a little messy, but I kind of still like it. I don't know, I like doing stuff in time limits every so often because sometimes I feel like I get lost in details, and I want to get a better idea of just like an overall feel. So this was fun though. I think she came off a little bit more rose than alien, but I mean, I think it still works. I am gonna upload this to, like, the image to my Patreon. Just so if you want to, like, see it a little bit clearer, you can. These are, like, 3 of my favorite challenges to do, so combining them is always fun. I did do this, earlier on, like, a year ago. Maybe it was more than that. And I think I've gotten better since then, so, I mean, I'll pat myself on the back. And I will see you in the next one.